Let's talk for a minute. Let's talk membership. Good old-fashioned membership. What is that? Aren't I already a member, you say? Well, let's talk some nomenclature for a minute, because membership is kind of a shorthand term in the SCA. When people say, are you a member, they mean, are you a paid member with a membership number? Now, what does that mean? What do you have to do? What part of your body do you have to sell? Which king's ransom do you have to fork over to get a membership in this crazy society of medieval enthusiasts? And the fact of the matter is that the only thing you really have to sign is the typical legal disclaimer that says you're not going to sue the society if you do something stupid at one of their events. But the membership itself, there are a couple of different levels of membership. When I say levels, I mean what you're buying. All memberships get you about the same thing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to look this up so that I'm giving you current and actual information. A sustaining individual membership for 1 year is $45. Now, an associate membership, that's $30. Now, what that means is suppose you are living with, obviously your spouse or your significant other or heck, a best friend or whatever. One of you can buy a sustaining membership, and then one of you can buy an associate membership. I have an associate membership. My wife has purchased the sustaining membership. It's kind of a way to make it a little discount so husband and wife aren't out a full $90 just buying 2 memberships. International memberships are $56, but if you live in the United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, Finland, Sweden, Australia, or New Zealand, you will need to visit the Society website. There are exceptions to those. You need to look at the pricing and the sign-up situation there, and that's of course due to local laws in those areas. Now, a family membership is $10 a head, $30 cap. And I happen to know a family that has full family membership, and it's a husband and wife and 5 kids. So they actually make money off of that equation. So why would you get a membership? What does a membership do for you? First of all, if you are just joining the SCA, as a number of people I know are, I'll tell you right now, don't. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You don't need a membership right now to have fun. You really don't need a membership to have fun. If you haven't signed the waiver, that's fine. For all the stuff that needs a waiver, there'll be a activity by activity waiver on site. If you want to go fight, sign the fighting waiver. You're off to the races. Sign. You want to go do horseback riding, sign the equestrian waiver. It's not a big deal. You don't need to be a member to participate in any of those. And if you're just joining, right now, there's probably no benefit to getting a membership for you. And that's not to say you should never become a member, but we'll get into why that's the case in a minute. But you're going to hear people say paid membership are numbers because, the number of paid members locally is a factor in what sustains a group. You'll hear that used as a metric of how healthy the group is. Those are all valid metrics, and those are all things we have to consider and that we as a long-standing group need to work with. But if you are just joining, you do not need to, and I would even tell you not to get a paid membership yet. Enjoy the SCA. Find out what's out there. Decide what you want to do. Get sustained, lock yourself into the group. Find your niche. And then consider getting a paid membership. Now, what does a paid membership do? I've been circling around that point. So let me explain this for you. There are a few things that a paid membership does. Now, number one, there is a non-member surcharge to get into SCA events. Now, when I say events, that's not the weekly activities. This is the the weekend events where everyone's in garb and we set up camps and everyone shows up, and it's, tournaments and all that. And it's usually 1 or 2 events per group per year. So if it's $10 at gate and you're not a member, you'll be paying $15. For most people, that's not much of a deal breaker. Why would I want a membership if it's not a deal breaker? Well, it depends on how many events a year you go to. When I and my wife, back when we were still just dating, started going to 10 events a year, sometimes 12. Well, the discount, that suddenly started making a difference. I mean, that was, you add that up, and at $5 a piece, that membership kind of paid for itself after, at $5 after about 9 events. So we were easily making that. Now, is that going to make or break most people going to an event? No, but if you were into serious eventing like we were, pennies counted. So, when we were younger and didn't have that much money to burn, that was a big deal. So yeah, we got membership. Supporting your group. If you've been playing for a while, getting a paid membership adds your name to the list of paid members for that zip code, and that does help bolster the group's numbers. And the numbers are looked at by Kingdom leadership. That is what the Kingdom uses to establish how healthy a group is. And if your paid membership gets down too low, it's not pretty. And there have been groups whose membership got too low and they folded. I mean, they were told, we're going to put you on suspension. You can't have any official meetings for a while. You can keep meeting and hanging out, but there can't, none of your officerships are currently valid. None of your activities are on SCA calendar. You can't hold an event. You can't hold court. And some of those groups never recovered from that, and they were disbanded. Also, if in Onsteora, now this is where things start differing between kingdoms. In Onsteora, in order to be a warranted officer, not necessarily a deputy, but a warranted officer, seneschal, exchequer, herald, chronicler, any of those, the local or the regional or the kingdom level or the principality level, you have to be an officer. And it's such a serious matter that if your officership ever lapses while you're an officer, your officership stops there, like that moment. If your upline, if your senior in the chain of command, as it were, finds out that your membership expired on April 17th, and they find out a week later, guess what? Your office was open as of April 17th, and you're no longer the officer. I don't think they mean to sound like hard heads on it, and I'm not trying to be over dramatic about it, but having seen it happen the handful of times I have, they're not joking around. You must be a paid member to be an officer, full stop. Now, for deputies, these are the unwarranted offices. These are the assistants and students and trainees under various offices, or the specific subject matter experts. Those don't require a membership. But if you want to consider becoming a warranted officer in the SCA at a local or regional or kingdom level, you will very likely need a paid membership in order to do that. And in Onsteora, you absolutely will need a paid membership. That's a given. And if you are the type of person for whom leadership is something you want to do, that is a skill set you have, that is something you want to explore, something you want to develop in yourself, all of those are valid possibilities. You will need a paid membership to do that in the society. Now, if you're a fighter and you want to enter Crown Tournament, you probably already know this, but I'll go ahead and, for the newbies out there who are still learning how to, and still learning the ropes, if you want to enter Crown Tournament, you must have been an officer in the past in Onsteora for 1 year. Every kingdom's different, so this is Onsteora specific. But also, the crown, being crown, is itself an office, so you must be a paid member. And last but not least, if you want to be a landed noble, I'm pretty sure this is universal throughout the society, but I know it's true in Onsteora. Landed nobles are also officers. Now, Does that mean all awards require memberships? No, but you need to check with your kingdom's laws. I know there are some kingdoms that will not give any award above AOA level, Award of Arms level, to anyone who does not have a membership. I don't write the rules. I'm not going to say any opinions about them. It's not my job here. But there are some kingdoms where if you do not have a paid membership, you will not advance past the lowest levels of rank. Now, Siora doesn't do that. We don't check your membership number to give you an award, but some kingdoms do. And at the end of the day, if you have any questions about it, there are a lot of things in the SCA that are very nuanced, and we try and be very transparent, but there are definitely some things where the repercussions or effects of a decision aren't apparent to the new member. Membership is not one of those scenarios. If you want to become a member, most of the information you need will be found on the Society website, and most of your questions should be answerable relatively quickly by your local or perhaps your regional or kingdom seneschals. It's a very straightforward process. It's not complicated, it's not difficult. You can go online, follow the links, follow the instructions. I know that when my wife and I originally got ours, we had our membership numbers within, I think it was within a half hour because it was emailed to us, and we got our blue cards in the mail like 2 weeks later, U.S. ground mail. Pretty straightforward. I've never had a problem with it. But it's a big deal in order to do certain things, but also for new members who are just getting into it. You're going to hear a lot of talk about memberships and officers and all that. Understand that when we say membership, when the word membership leaves our lips, we're almost always talking about paid membership, and that is something that if you're new to the SCA, you probably don't need to worry about. And if you do, if your circumstance is different, we'll probably tell you about it. But the last thing I want to say on this is that, at least in the groups I've played with, in the kingdoms I've played in, and it's been several kingdoms I've had the pleasure of visiting and living in, whether or not you're a paid member does not change whether you are a member of the community. Don't think that there is a price tag to join us. There isn't. There will not be as long as I have anything to say about it, and there shouldn't be. Because while we have our administration, we have our rules, and we have the things we require, even if they sound a little scattered, at the end of the day, the SCA is first and foremost a community. And that, my friend, does not have a price tag on it. So if you have any questions or any feedback, feel free to leave a comment down below. Until then, I'll see you at the next event. Goodbye, and God bless.